The vacant position at Rotherham is no longer vacant. Matt Taylor of Exeter City is the new man in. Here is my reaction. Get your views down there in the comments on this hire. I know we're a championship channel in the main, but I'd love to hear from Exeter fans on exactly what we can expect to see from Matt Taylor. So, how did we get here? Well, as quickly as we can, Mel Morris went nuclear, put Darby into administration last season. The Rams were relegated and Wayne Rooney left. His sidekick Liam Rossini was put in temporary charge by David Clowes, who then managed to tempt League One promotion specialist Paul Warne away from Rotherham. Warne departed the Millers at the end of week 1 of the international break, and by the middle of week 2, actually looked like Cambridge United boss Mark Bonner was going to be favourite for this job. Whatever happened there, I'm sure the people on the inside know, but I think it was Thursday that Bonner pledged his future to Cambridge last week, and Rotherham turned their attention to Exeter's Matt Taylor. So Taylor took charge of Exeter for their 2-2 draw against Bristol Rovers on Saturday, but post-game, the club addressed that permission had been granted for Rotherham to talk to Taylor, and Taylor said he would make a decision over the next 48 hours, culminating in him being announced last night as Rotherham manager. Taylor took a leaf out of the Paul Warne playbook and penned an open letter to Exeter's supporters saying, "The club has been a huge part of my life for 10 incredible years. Firstly, to give me an opportunity to play professional football at 24 years of age, then in recent times as a coach, and the last 4.25 years as your manager. We've been promoted 3 times, visited Wembley on 4 occasions and enjoyed some truly incredible moments. I gave you everything I had and you never wavered in your support of me." After last year's promotion from League 2, Taylor leaves Exeter in 11th spot in League 1. They've been in League 2 the entire previous decade, but Taylor had taken them to the playoff final back in 2020, losing out to Northampton. Anyone who follows League 1 will know it kind of splits in halves with the haves and the have-nots. And Exeter are left there in probably the have-not category, but with a very good front three of Brown, Nombe, and the on-loan Stansfield capable of firing them to a good season. It's certainly a big thumbs up for me for the job Matt Taylor did for Exeter. And whilst we're on the subject of thumbs up, I'd love for you to give this video a thumbs up. Hit the like button to support me and the channel. So the job Taylor walks into at Rotherham is a very interesting one. Paul Warne left them in the top half of the Championship, which probably even the most emotionally invested Rotherham fan would admit is over and above where they'd expect to end up. On the one hand, the club is incredibly stable, managers are given time, and right on brand, Taylor has signed a deal until 2026. The club doesn't have a great deal of money coming in, but prides itself on not overreaching and thus getting plenty of value from spending within their means. Now, this incredibly stable off-pitch nature of Rotherham has translated into them being dominant League One club, but struggling to cope in the Championship. They've now gone down, up, down, up, down, up over the entirety of the past 6 seasons. Taylor knows he won't be turfed out if they give it a good crack and go down, but he also knows this season, particularly with the decent start, might represent as good a chance as Rotherham have had recently to survive and build themselves as a Championship club. Style-wise, it looks like the Rotherham players will be preparing for a tweak if indeed Taylor utilises the strategy he took to get Exeter up. Paul Warne's side had a big focus on running numbers. They were a good direct side who exploited set plays very well. During their promotion last season, Matt Taylor's Exeter were bottom of the table for accurate long passes per game, in the bottom 5 for tackles per game, and the top 5 for average possession. All a little bit of a departure, but Taylor was keen to say he wasn't going to be changing too much in his first press conference. On the surface of it, I like the hire. Always good to see younger managers working their way up the period. Taylor's timing is very good, as it has to be in management, and his stock was so high. I totally understand him making this move right now. And if Rotherham are as patient and stable with him as they were with Warne, then it should be a good place to go to work. There are a few obvious concerns. First is that Warne left Rotherham perhaps unsustainably high, and that some kind of trend down, however big or small, may or may not need to be negotiated. The second thing, stylistically, there needs to be some kind of meeting in the middle between what Warne was doing, what Taylor ultimately wants to do, and what's right for the playing squad in the here and now. There's been plenty of examples of managers leaving a good team who played in a fairly sort of condensed way tactically, and then the new Bosch, proving a bit of an overcomplication tactically with the squad. That needs to be timed very well. The third thing is just this hard job of replacing someone who's been at the club for ages and ages. There's nothing Taylor can do about that. But what I will say is he did take over from Paul Tisdale at Exeter, who'd, I think, been there for over 10 years, a long, long time. Anyway, all of that being said, if there's one club who know who they are and who will give a manager time and not make very rash, sort of short-term decisions, then it is probably Rotherham. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. What do you think of the hire? How do you think Taylor will go at Rotherham? And what really are the realistic expectations for that club right now in the Championship? You can catch my waffling in much shorter form over on Insta, TikTok and Facebook. You can support financially if you're feeling kind on Patreon. Or why not stay right here where you are? A good companion to this piece would be the reaction to Paul Warne leaving for Darby. You can see that here. Or check in with yet another Championship firing here as I take on Chris Wilder's departure from Middlesbrough.